I'm bored, and so I decided to play Legends of Kingdom Rush once again, even though the game is kinda dead at this point. But it's still one of my favorite games out there, and in this video I'm gonna rank every single character, legend and companion in Legends of Kingdom Rush on a tier list, with S being like completely broken, well, not completely broken, but like really good, A being good but in like less situations, B is like average, C is like below average, D is bad, and F is the worst. I'm ranking them on like 4 factors, which are versatility, how good they are usually, how good they are at like their best, and how hard it is to get to that best state of them. Gerald, the best way I could describe Gerald is a jack of all trades, but good at none. He's not particularly the best in any of the classes he specializes in. In damage dealing, he gets outclassed by every single other legend other than Bravebark, except maybe because Branch Ball does a lot of damage. In tanking, he gets outclassed by Bravebark because of his superior health and healing in combat. But that's not to say Gerald is bad at his job. Gerald's still a good character overall. It's just that like he's not the best at anything. He still could be good at it though, which is why I'm giving him a good A tier. A lot of people regard Gerald as like S tier. I personally just don't understand it. He's like a support tank damage dealer hybrid, but he doesn't do any of them like the best. So yeah. Now Azra is my favorite legend and character in the game overall, based on design. And I'm trying to remove bias here, but I still think Azra overall is like S tier, one of the best legend in my opinion. Insane damage output, especially with like Onyx arrows. Insane survivability, she basically can't die. On top of having armor on a ranged companion with 3 speed and 4 range, meaning she'll never get hit. She also has Shield of Shadows, which prevents her from dying, basically allowing her to tank 2 attacks when usually she would have died. And plus, she has some absolutely insane damage output with not only Onyx arrows, but also with Shiv if you use the epic correctly. And Spider Stance gives her even more survivability on top of that. Azra can be used as both a melee and ranged companion because dodge is just broken, and overall, S tier. Olok is in the running for the worst character, the worst legend. Specifically, it's between him or Rexon. Personally, I think Rexon takes that title. Olok is a very fun character to use, so I understand why some people might like really disagree and get mad at me for this. But in the end, Olok is, how do I say this? He's really good at damage dealing and pretty tanky for a mage. Now, this is a good time to mention, for me, tier lists are relative, so even if, so this is the case for this game, every character except for one is like really great in their own right, but I still gotta have like a balance of S, A, B, C, D, and F. So even if every character is like 9 out of 10, there's still gonna be F tiers and there's still gonna be S tiers, because it's not like a number rank where it's like relative to everything, it's more like relative to the things in the list. So if there was like 10 9 out of 10s and 1 out of 10, the 1 out of 10 would go in F tier, and then everything else would be distributed between S and D tier. So this is why Olok, despite not being bad, I just think she gets outclassed, and since every legend in this game is so good, except for maybe 1, maybe 2, he just lands himself in a C tier spot. Bruxa is the legend that I have by far the least experience with. I've heard really good things about Bruxa, and I know she does a lot of damage. I've heard great things about her, but I just don't have enough rank her correctly, so I'm just gonna chuck her in like average, probably slightly above average in like high B tier. Overall, Bruxa is just like I know that she's strong, but I just don't know how strong because I just don't have enough experience with her. Rexon, as I said before, in my opinion, Rexon is the worst legend, just because he relies so much on a focus of like damage, but he doesn't even have the range to justify his damage. Yes, he does have the health, and he's good against magic since he gets reduced damage plus Eldritch State from taking magic damage. but I find him most useful in the arena and not in any like adventures, which is what I'm mainly rating this on. In the arena, yes, that plays a part, but mainly this is about adventures. But he's good in the arena enough that he gets bumped up from D tier down into low C tier, only slightly behind Olog. Brave Bug. What do I even need to say about Brave Bug? Brave Bug's basically the ultimate tank. Not only does he have like 14 health, he also has passive regen of 2 health per turn, plus Branch Ball is an insane damage dealing. It's comparable to Avenging Blade from Gerald. I'm still saying Avenging Blade is better than Branch Ball, but Branch Ball overall is just a great damage dealing, and it helps Brave Bug really outclass Gerald and take over almost all of Gerald's good like party comps like Brave Bug, Ranger Arc, and Arcane Wizard. Just because he can do tanking better than Gerald can. S tier, but on the very like lower end of S tier, because I think he barely makes it in. But there's a lot of S tier characters in this game, more than any other. Speaking of S tier characters, the Ranger is the best companion in the game. What do I even need to say about the Ranger? He hits the HP breakpoint of 4, but with magic damage at level 1. He gets up to 7 damage with his base attack at level 3. Ricochet Arrow is just basically broken. Verdant Defender and Summon Brambles are both basically insane. The only bad thing he has is Kebab Shot, which like just don't use it and then you'll be fine. He is so good at supporting and carrying his own weight and being left at level 1 that at level 1 he is already better than many at level 3. What do I even need to say anymore? Similarly, the Arcane Wizard is another S tier companion. Now, I usually am like limited with the number of S tier spots I give out, especially so early on in a video. But the 2 starting companions are the 2 best companions, arguably. Hitting the HP breakpoint of 4 with his main attack, plus Magic Missiles is probably one of the best level 1 special abilities out there. Arcane Preparation is a great passive to have, especially considering Frost Lance is one of the best, especially considering Frost Lance is one of the most broken abilities in this game. Having 100% uptime should you dedicate a turn to use Preparation. Disintegrate basically removes an enemy from the field. If you get the Arcane Wizard to 8 health, it will one-shot every enemy and every boss in the whole game. Now the Knight is the Knight sequel. Anyways, the Knight is, honestly, as a tank, I don't think she can be like the best character, because tank's main job is to support the glass cannons. And the glass cannons, you could argue that in a reverse fashion, the glass cannons' main job is to support the tanks. But not really, because the tanks are there to like support the glass cannons, make sure they don't die, so that they can then dish out all their damage, while the glass cannons are there just to dish out their damage. But the Knight is the best tank in the game, except for maybe, arguably, the Dark Knight. Now this is companion tanks and not legend tanks, so Brave Bug and Gerald both don't count. But overall, I'd say Hold the Line is just such a broken ability. And same thing with like Shield Bash, and plus the consecutive blocks are just so satisfying. I have to give it to her. She's an A tier companion. Now the Bombardier is one of the most annoying companions out there to use. I hate the Bombardier. She does like 2 damage at level 1. I never use the Bombardier. I always keep her. So if I'm ever using her, it's as a 4th companion or just to kind of level her up. But if I'm not using her as part of my main party, I'm not planning to need to allocate that much XP to her. I don't want to do 2 damage to enemy. I don't want to do 3 damage to an unblinded priest and then now have an abomination, like bro. At level 2 and 3 she becomes a lot better with some great skills, and overall I'd say she just escapes out of the F tier into the D tier. Barbarian is, I really don't have enough experience with the Barbarian to say how good he like truly is, but I've heard he's kind of similar to the Orca Cleaver in a way that he's a melee damage dealer that can function as a tank as well. But his main problem is he has an extremely high level up priority, because Berserk Ritual is the only thing that can guarantee him healing, and plus he's a melee companion without passive healing unless he can get into the Rage state, Berserk state, and the only way to guarantee that is with Berserk Ritual. Without any armor, he needs the passive healing or he's cooked, because then he's gonna drain all your supplies, and yeah. But overall though, I consider the Barbarian just to be an average companion. He synergizes really well with Azra though, so that's a plus since Azra's the best legend. Changed my mind. Dark Knight is arguably the best companion tank in the game. It's really down between the Dark Knight and the Knight. The Dark Knight has a much more offensive approach, seeing as his level 1 secondary ability is Rupture, which just does a shit ton of damage, and also inflicts bleed, while the Knight's level 1 secondary ability is Shield Bash, which applies stun. The Knight has more survivability at level 3, but the Dark Knight has more damage, considering Porcupine Slam combined with extra Armor of Thorns damage is just an insane combo and good crowd control. While the Knight really has Hold the Line to increase support. This really just comes down to, do you want defense or offense? The Dark Knight is much better with like squishier companions like the Sorceress and Witch Doctor, while the Knight is much better with more damage oriented companions like the Ranger and Arcane Wizard. And just because the Ranger and Arcane Wizard are S tier, while the characters that the Dark Knight synergizes really well with, like the Witch Doctor and the Sorceress, like lower on the list, I have to give the Knight. I'm gonna leave the Dark Knight at B tier, but I don't really know. I'm really debating between A and B tier. I'll give you my final answer for the end. The Orc Cleaver is just the most fun character, other than maybe Olok, but this time he's also really good. Counterattack is just so fun to play around with, plus parry stance. The Orc Cleaver's synergy is like best synergy is with Gerald, considering parry stance plus Aura of Soul plus Martyr's Inspiration grants -3 damage, which can guarantee 0 damage from many small enemies and really low damage from many other sources. But even with all of this, the Orc Cleaver is great on its own as well. The counterattack bait strategy is just so funny. The AI of the enemies just don't realize that he has counterattack, and then they'll just like rush into you and die. Overall, it's really hard not to give him S tier just because of how fun he is. But for now, I'm gonna keep him at the top of A tier. I might move him up to S tier later on though. The Witch Doctor is the like support of the options that you have. He can heal, and he can, let me see, heal and do 2 damage. He's a great companion, but only when paired up with a tank, a good tank like the Dark Knight or the Knight, but also a really good damage dealer like the Arcane Wizard or Ranger. Usually he's not that good because his heals aren't that useful unless you have a really good tank or a tank that relies on their health like the Sasquatch or Barbarian. But he does like no damage as well, so his best like synergies are with the Dark Knight, the Barbarian, and the Orc Cleaver, like lower survivability units that need more healing. But usually you don't want the Dark Knight to take physical damage. The Orc Cleaver shouldn't take that much physical damage. So overall, you can use him, but he's just kind of average. The Sasquatch is annoying. Sasquatch he has 1 passive health regen. 1. Stalling out games for like 10 rounds, which yes, I've tried to do that before with Infinite Frost Lances, just so he can heal back up. Is some of the most annoying things I've ever seen. He's supposed to be the 1 movement speed bruiser that trades mobility for good abilities, but his abilities aren't even good. Maybe Root Spike is good, maybe his Mud Ball is good, but overall, yeah, no. He's like either C or low B tier, but I'm putting him C tier. Cause like, he really pisses me off because he's supposed to be the 1 movement speed tanky bruiser. His movement speed is equal to his level. At level 3, he has 3 movement, which defeats the whole point of the Sasquatch, which is to have 1 movement. The Zapper. I forgot about the Zapper. The Zapper went from having broken, unusable abilities to broken, overpowered abilities. Both definitions of broken. He still is. If you're planning to dedicate XP somewhere else, like for example, if you're playing Gerald and the Orc Cleaver, the Orc Cleaver has really high priority to get to level 2. Gerald is good to get to level 2. Or if you're playing like Azra and like the Barbarian. If you need to dedicate the XP elsewhere, the Zappa is better than the Arcane Wizard straight up. But overall, I wouldn't call him better than the Arcane Wizard, but he's still one of the best characters of all time. So sorry Brave Bark, but I'm bumping you down. The S tier now looks something like this. This eliminates all chance that the Orc Cleaver had of moving his way up to S tier if Brave Bark is in A tier. And now, I hate you. I hate you so much. Kill yourself. You're so old, you're wasting up space. Like, literally, why are you here? Literally, nobody needs you. Nobody likes you. Add your golem as a companion. We will be more happy with just your golem than you stupid old hag wasting up oxygen that could be better allocated to literally anyone else. What do you mean you need to be level 3 and get an external damage buff just to hit the HP breakpoint of 4, which every other character can do at level 2, I'm pretty sure. Kill yourself. Crash out over. The Sorceress is the worst character in the game. Her only good synergies is with the Arcane Wizard, because at level 3 the Arcane Wizard's 4 magic missiles will go from dealing 4 to 8 damage to 14 to 18 damage, which is just kind of insane. But still, she's meant to be a support, but as a support she's useless. Why? Tell me why Rotting Curse has a 4-turn cooldown when it prevents enemies from moving for 1 turn and deals 1 true damage, when like Poison Arrow does straight up 4 true damage and has a 2-turn cooldown. Bro, Punishing Curse is also useless, and Trebuchet is just a worse version of Fireball. Finally, we have the Sylvan Elf. Sylvan Elf is a really interesting character because he's the only character with 2 main attacks. Melee main attack does his attack stat times 1.5, making him one of the best characters to give any damage buffs to, because a times by 1.5 is going to be a lot more than a +1 usually. His damage scales up extremely quickly. His ranged main attack, he does need to level up to level 2 just to hit the breakpoint of 4, but even so, he can already hit that breakpoint with his main attack at level 1 anyways, so with his other main attack at level 1 anyways, so having this one deal magic damage is just an extra buff. He has a decently high level up priority, but not so much because his abilities aren't that good, but his last ability, his like level 3 one that shoots 3 arrows randomly, that can be used to one-shot Kromdak, that can be used to one-shot so many bosses, and to further and to eliminate any chances of the Dark Knight making it up into A tier, Sylvan Elf gets placed in A tier below the Knight. Now to kind of balance this tier list, I need to move Regson down, move the Barbarian down, move the Sylvan Elf down, and yeah, here is my tier list of every single character in Legends of Kingdom Rush. Now, this is like a really weird list because I see a lot of people being like, oh, S tier is Brave Bark, Gerald, Ranger, or Cleaver. No, just like, look at this, bro. Anyways, that's about it.
Side note, to any of you wondering, this is me. Almost a year ago at this point, I posted my final Kingdom Rush video on my main channel before I kind of transitioned into being a Brawl Stars creator over there. But I still love this game series. I still wish it to be great, and I still want to make content on it. That's where this channel comes in. I'm going to be posting quite a lot here because there's a lot of videos I want to make, especially the Necromancer being overrated video. About a year and a half ago, I said this.
Yeah, no, overrated. The Necromancer is the most overrated tower in the series. I'm gonna make a separate video explaining why.
And ever since then, I've been delaying the production of that video because I was lazy. First, I was just lazy, then it was exams, and now, you know. But now I will make it. The video is in production right now. I'm making it. It's gonna be a lot more high quality than some of these videos. But at the end of the day, I'm making a video completely dedicated on why the Necromancer is the most overrated tower in the whole series. So yeah, goodbye.